Okay, we're going to change the oil and filter on a 2003 VW Passat. First things to get the splash guard off, watch the full splash guard removal video here. Let's pop the hood, and we are going to open up the oil filler cap so we can prepare to dump some oil out of this thing. Now, I don't use a jack for this project. You can, but there's enough room under there for you to slide your oil pan underneath. So let's do that, get that thing in position, and pop off your oil drain bolt. And once that bolt comes loose, we're just going to walk away and let this thing drain. There's plenty of other work to do. Probably the most challenging part of this project is the oil filter, which comes next. To get at that oil filter, we have to scoot the coolant reservoir out of the way. That's secured in place by 3 mounting screws, so let's pop those out. Once those are removed, we can lean that reservoir up, and the next step will be disconnecting the wiring harness from that reservoir. So with the wiring harness disconnected, we get enough play where we can really lean this thing aside and get more room to work. Then let's pop this piece of vacuum line out of its little clamp. That'll give us a lot of room actually to get in at this oil filter. So what you see me doing here is putting a freezer bag in. I'm getting the freezer bag around the oil filter. Why? Because this thing is couched so tight in the middle of the engine compartment that it spills oil everywhere unless you put it in a bag. So you can see me spinning it here. It's starting to fill up with oil. This actually works really good. I barely get any oil on the chassis, and subsequently it doesn't drip for a week after an oil change. Yeah, look at that mess. Alright, next steps to get our new filter into place. So I always just tighten this thing on by hand. It's always worked for me. Obviously the key is you want to double check, make sure it's not leaking at all, but when I spin it as tight as I can with a bare hand, getting a good grip usually works out well. Let's reattach that wiring harness and reinstall the coolant reservoir. Now, I know this looks like a lot of work for an oil change. It is probably the most difficult oil change I've ever done. Not great engineering, but it is better than paying top dollar at some oil change place and having them lose half your fasteners or steal your splash guard. So let's put our drain bolt back in, and we'll get ready to dump in our new European grade synthetic oil. Again, very important that you use I think there might be only 2 brands here in the States that are the VW grade European synthetic. This stuff that I'm using, Castrol Edge with Syntec, and I think Mobil 1 has a product as well that has the VW stamp of approval. So 4.1 quarts of that. And let's check our levels, wipe the dipstick, pop it back in, pull it back out and inspect. Should have oil in the crosshatch pattern. And you're good to go with your freshly lubed vehicle.